Something is happening at Walmart right now, and most people walking through those doors have absolutely no idea. The prices on the shelf look the same, the packages look the same, but what's inside? That's a different story. I've been doing this long enough to recognize the pattern, and right now that pattern is everywhere. Coffee, paper towels, laundry detergent, chocolate, ground beef, items you buy every single week. Items you don't even think about until they're gone, or until the bill hits and you wonder, wait, why did I spend that much? That's exactly what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through 13 specific items at Walmart that are either quietly shrinking in size, creeping up in price, or both at the same time. And I want you to pay close attention to number 7. That one genuinely surprised me. I've bought that item hundreds of times and I never saw it coming. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel is where you come to stay ahead of the curve. We don't do panic. We don't do hype. We do information. Real, actionable, specific information that helps you protect your grocery budget and your household. Let's get into it. Product number 1, ground beef. This one hits close to home for a lot of people. Ground beef is on almost every family's weekly list. It's meatloaf night, Taco Tuesday, burgers on the weekend. And right now, the price of ground beef at Walmart is under real pressure. A pound of 80/20 ground beef has climbed significantly over the past year. The U.S. beef supply is at some of its lowest levels in decades. Drought conditions across key cattle-producing states have pushed cattle prices to record highs. That cost gets passed right down the line, from ranchers to processors to distributors, and eventually onto Walmart's shelves and into your cart. I spoke with someone who sources protein for a mid-size food distributor, and he told me that the supply squeeze isn't going away anytime soon. Herds take years to rebuild. You can't just flip a switch and suddenly have more cattle. We're looking at elevated beef prices well into 2026 and possibly beyond. I bought 6 pounds of 80/20 at Walmart a few weeks back at around $5.48 a pound. That's $32.88 before anything else lands in the cart. 18 months ago, I was paying closer to $4.20 a pound for the same thing. That's over $15 more for the same 6 pounds. Over a full year of weekly purchases, that difference adds up to real money. If you have a chest freezer, this is where it earns its keep. Ground beef freezes beautifully. Wrap it tight, label it with the date, and you've got up to 4 months of quality. I bought a larger batch last month and broke it into 1-pound portions before freezing. Takes about 10 minutes. Saves a meaningful amount of money over time. You don't want to be caught paying whatever the market demands at its peak. Lock in now while you still have some control. Product number 2, ground coffee. Coffee people, this one is personal, and it is serious. Ground coffee prices at Walmart have surged in a way that most people haven't fully processed yet. Maxwell House ground Colombian coffee saw a price increase of around 46% at some Walmart locations in 2025. That is not a rounding error. That is nearly half again what you were paying before. The reason is real, and it's not going away. Coffee grows in very specific conditions: high altitude, the right rainfall, the right temperature range. Climate change has disrupted that in major growing regions. Erratic weather, droughts, floods, all of it hitting the key supply countries at the same time. When the harvest comes up short, the price goes up. Simple as that. A warehouse manager I know who handles commodity dry goods told me that coffee is one of the categories where pricing pressure at the supplier level is unlike anything he's seen in his 12 years doing that job. He said brands are absorbing some of the cost, but they can't absorb all of it. Consumers are going to feel the rest. I bought 4 canisters of ground coffee last month. Not because I needed 4 right now, but because I know what's coming. I paid around $11.98 per 30-ounce canister. If the price climbs another 10 to 15% by summer, which is entirely plausible based on current trends, that's a real savings per canister just by acting now. Ground coffee stores very well. Keep it in a sealed, airtight container, away from light and heat. Unopened canisters will stay fresh for up to a year, sometimes longer. Once opened, aim to use it within a month for best flavor, but the shelf life is still there. You don't want to be the person standing in the coffee aisle in July paying whatever the new price is and wishing you'd grabbed a few extra cans in March. Product number 3. Tide Laundry Detergent. This is the one that bothers me the most because it's the one they hoped you wouldn't notice. Tide, one of the most trusted household brands in America, has been quietly shrinking its bottles for years. Before the pandemic, you were getting 100 fluid ounces in a standard bottle. Then it dropped to 92 ounces, then 84. Then, as of late 2024 and into 2025, down to 80 ounces. The price stayed essentially the same throughout. The label still says 64 loads, but you are getting measurably less liquid per bottle than you were 5 years ago. That's not a minor thing. That's a 20% reduction in product for the same price. Per load cost has crept up in a way that almost nobody catches because the bottle looks identical on the shelf. A retail data analyst pointed out that this is a textbook example of how shrinkflation hides in plain sight. Same packaging design, same brand, same color, but the ounces quietly disappear over time. If you're not comparing unit prices on the shelf tag, you'd have no idea. I bought a 6-pack of Tide Pods recently as a practical alternative. Pods are easier to track. You know exactly how many washes you get. Came out to about $18.47 for 57 pods at Walmart. That's around 32 cents per load. Not bad, all things considered. Stock up when they go on rollback because that price moves. Laundry detergent has a genuinely long shelf life. Pods and liquid detergent are stable for at least 12 months, sometimes up to 2 years if kept in a cool, dry area away from humidity. A laundry room shelf works fine as long as it's not exposed to extreme heat. This is about more than detergent. This is about a brand thinking you won't notice. And now you have. Product number 4. Paper towels. Paper towels are one of the most aggressively shrinkflated product categories in the entire grocery store. The data backs this up completely. Research tracking household product sizes found that around 60% of major paper product brands reduced their sheet counts over the pandemic and post-pandemic years. Per roll sheet counts have dropped by 10 to 15 sheets across multiple brands, while roll counts in the package have stayed the same. You're buying what looks like the same package. The roll count on the front is unchanged, but you're getting fewer sheets per roll. That's a real reduction, hidden in plain sight. I've bought Bounty Select a size routinely for years at Walmart, and I've noticed that the same dollar amount buys me noticeably fewer weeks of use than it did 2 years ago. A retailer source told me that paper product pricing is under continued pressure because of energy costs, pulp costs, and transportation costs, all of which hit at once and haven't fully recovered. I went ahead and bought 2 large multi-roll packs about 3 weeks ago. Paid just under $24 for a 12 count. That's around $2 per roll, which is still reasonable. A year from now, if sheet counts drop further and the price holds, that per roll value will be worse. Buying ahead locks in today's value. Paper towels store easily. Keep them in a closet, a garage shelf, a spare room. They don't expire. They don't need temperature control. They just need to stay dry. I keep a 2 to 3 month supply on hand at all times. It costs me no extra effort and saves me real money. Every roll you have on the shelf is a roll you didn't have to buy at a worse price later. Product number 5. Chocolate bars and candy. I honestly didn't see this one becoming such a significant issue. But here we are. Chocolate prices have climbed sharply. Hershey and Lindt both saw price increases in the 26% range at some Walmart locations in 2025. The cause is real and it's global. Cacao harvests have come up short for 3 consecutive years. The West African nations that grow the majority of the world's cacao supply have been dealing with extreme weather, aging trees, disease pressure, and volatile rainfall. There's no quick fix for that. Trees take years to mature. Supply doesn't recover overnight. The result is that your standard chocolate bar at Walmart is now noticeably more expensive, and the bars themselves have gotten smaller across multiple brands. Tracking data found that certain regular-sized chocolate packages shrank nearly 20% by weight, while the retail price stayed the same or moved slightly upward. You're paying more for less chocolate. That's the math. I stocked up on individually wrapped chocolate bars and a few large baking blocks last month. Total spend was around $28 for enough chocolate to last my household several months between baking and snacking. If I wait until summer when cacao supply pressures typically intensify, that same purchase would likely cost me $4 to $6 more. Chocolate stores well if you treat it right. Keep it in a cool, dry place, ideally between 65 and 70 degrees. Don't refrigerate it unless you absolutely have to because condensation affects the texture. Properly stored, most chocolate is good for 12 months or more. Baking chocolate and dark chocolate tend to hold even longer. This is a treat category, but it's also a real money category. And the trend line here is not friendly. Product number 6, dish soap. This one might seem small, but hear me out because the numbers add up. Standard dish soap bottles, the ones you've been grabbing off that Walmart shelf for years, have been quietly shrinking. Bottles that were once 24 ounces are now commonly 21.6 ounces at the same price point. That's a roughly 10% reduction in product. On a single bottle, you might not notice. Over a year of buying dish soap every 3 to 4 weeks, that's like paying for an extra bottle you never received. Dawn is one of the most common brands in American kitchens, and it's been through multiple size adjustments over the past few years. Retail watchers have noted that brands use slightly different bottle shapes to disguise the smaller fill. The design looks nearly identical. The volume is not. Someone in my circle who works in consumer goods distribution confirmed that dish soap is one of those categories where companies quietly adjusted sizes and hoped the price stability would keep shoppers from questioning it. And by and large, it worked. Most people just grabbed the bottle without comparing ounces. I bought 4 large bottles of Dawn during a recent Walmart run. Paid about $4.47 each for the 21.6-ounce version. If I can find the larger refill sizes, which still exist in some stores, the per-ounce price is better. But even stocking the standard bottles at today's price is smarter than buying one at a time and absorbing future adjustments. Dish soap has essentially unlimited shelf life if stored sealed. Keep it under the sink or in a storage cabinet. I keep 3 to 4 months of dish soap on hand and it costs me nothing in space or effort. Small item. Real money over time. This is exactly the kind of thing that adds up without you realizing it. Product number 7. Oreo cookies. This one genuinely got me. I've been buying Oreos my whole life. Oreo cookies showed up on retail tracking as one of the items that moved up in price, noticeably at Walmart in 2025. The standard package price crept up while the size stayed the same, meaning the per cookie cost quietly increased. But here's the part that really surprised me. When you look at party size and family size snack packages more broadly, the trend is consistent across the entire snack aisle. Cookie packages that once weighed 15 ounces now commonly come in at 13.7 ounces. Same packaging footprint on the shelf. Less product inside. The snack category as a whole has been hit hard. Tariffs on certain imported ingredients, rising sugar prices, and logistics costs have all compressed margins for manufacturers. When their margins get compressed, your package gets lighter. I grabbed 4 standard Oreo packages on my last run. Paid about $4.27 each. That's a price I can work with for stocking the pantry. The question is whether that package will be $4.97 or $5.27 in 6 months for the same size or possibly fewer cookies. Based on the trend data I'm watching, I'm not feeling great about the answer. Oreos and most sealed cookie products store well for up to 12 months in a cool, dry pantry. Keep them in their original packaging until you're ready to open. I buy 4 to 6 packs at a time when I see a good price and rotate through them. It's simple. It works. Oreos feel like a small thing, but they represent a massive snack category. And what's happening to Oreos is happening to almost every packaged snack on that aisle. Product number 8. Aluminum foil. This one surprised people when the data came out. Aluminum foil, plain, simple, practical aluminum foil, saw its price jump around 13% at Walmart in 2025. Reynolds Wrap, which is the dominant brand on those shelves, publicly attributed the increase to historic and sustained cost increases driven by tariffs. Aluminum is a globally traded commodity, and its price is sensitive to trade policy, energy costs, and manufacturing capacity. When tariffs tighten the supply chain, the cost moves, and Reynolds passed that cost along. What makes this one interesting is that aluminum foil is the kind of item you don't think about. It's just there. You grab it without looking at the price. You've probably been grabbing the same box for years without comparing it to anything. That's exactly the psychology brands are counting on. I bought 3 boxes of Reynolds Wrap on my last trip. The 75 square foot standard box was running about $4.28. That's up from around $3.79 not long ago. Doesn't sound dramatic. But aluminum foil is one of those consumables you go through constantly, covering baking dishes, wrapping leftovers, lining pans. Over a year of regular use, you're buying this product 6 to 8 times. Aluminum foil stores indefinitely. No expiration, no degradation. Keep it in the box, in a drawer or cabinet, and it lasts as long as you need it to. Buy 2 or 3 boxes when you see a good price. It's weightless in terms of storage space, and the value holds completely. Don't overlook the boring stuff. The boring stuff is where your money actually goes. Product number 9. Dove Bar Soap. Dove soap is a perfect case study in how shrinkflation sneaks past you. Retail tracking has documented that Dove Bar Soap shrank by about 1/4 of an ounce per bar, while the price moved up slightly. And the adjustments haven't stopped there. The bar is lighter today than it was 5 years ago. The packaging still looks the same. The branding is identical. But the bar is lighter and the price is higher. Dove soap showed up on multiple retail tracking reports as one of the items that moved up in price at Walmart during 2025. When you combine the size reductions over the past several years with the recent price movement, the total cost impact on a regular Dove buyer is real, even if each individual change looked small in isolation. Bar soap is one of those pantry staples that nobody thinks about until they run out. And running out when prices have jumped feels worse than running out on a normal day. I bought 2 8-bar multi-pack sets of Dove on my last Walmart trip. Came out to about $8.97 per pack. That's solid value per bar, and it locks in today's sizing and pricing. I know some people who have switched to Walmart's great value soap bars as a genuine alternative. That's a reasonable move if Dove's per ounce price continues to drift upward. Bar soap stores perfectly. Indefinitely, really. Keep the bars in a cool, dry spot. They don't go bad. A small stack in a bathroom cabinet or a linen closet is all you need. I keep at least a 2-month supply on hand. This is one of those items where stocking up is genuinely effortless. Do it now before the next round of adjustments. Product number 10. K-Cup Coffee Pods. I know I touched on ground coffee earlier, but single-serve K-Cups deserve their own conversation, because the pressure in this specific format is even more concentrated. K-Cups at Walmart have taken hits across multiple brands. Mainstream breakfast blends from major brands saw increases in the 34% range through 2025 at some stores. That's a number you feel in your monthly grocery budget. A box of 36 K-Cups that was around $18.99 18 months ago is now brushing $24 or more depending on the brand. The convenience format takes the hit twice. First, because the underlying coffee is more expensive due to crop shortages and weather disruption. Second, because the single-serve packaging itself, the pods, the plastic, the filters, involves components that have their own supply chain cost pressures. It compounds. A lot of households are running 2 or 3 K-Cups a day between multiple family members. At current prices, that's a real monthly line item. I started mixing in a canister of ground coffee and a reusable K-Cup filter as a practical workaround. The per-cup cost drops dramatically, and honestly, the coffee is better. For stocking up, K-Cups last anywhere from 12 to 18 months sealed. Keep them in a cool, dry place out of direct sunlight. I buy a 72-count or 80-count box when I find a good price, and that covers a meaningful stretch of mornings. If you're a daily K-Cup household and you haven't done the math recently, do the math. The number may surprise you. Product number 11. Canned pineapple and tropical fruit. This one felt like a gut punch when I first noticed it at the shelf. Canned pineapple from major brands at Walmart went up roughly 25% in price at some stores in 2025. Dole, one of the most recognizable names in that aisle, cited both weather-related crop shortages and tariff pressure on goods imported from Southeast Asia. Those two forces hit at the same time, from the same direction, and the price reflected it. Canned tropical fruit is the kind of item that lives in your pantry for months. People don't think about it much. They grab a can here or there. But it's also one of those reliable, affordable pantry staples that families with kids go through regularly. Fruit salads, smoothies, mixed into oatmeal, or straight out of the can. It's not glamorous, but it's useful, and it's been affordable for as long as most of us can remember. That affordable forever era is showing real strain right now. I picked up 12 cans of sliced pineapple and mandarin oranges over the last couple of shopping trips. Paid around $1.28 to $1.58 per can, depending on the size. If the price pushes toward the $2 mark, which is entirely plausible based on current import pricing signals, those cans I bought today start looking like a smart move. Canned fruit has a shelf life of 2 to 3 years under normal storage conditions. Keep them in a cool pantry away from temperature extremes. Rotate your stock, use the older cans first, and move new purchases to the back. Boring? Yes. Practical? Absolutely. Product number 12. Breakfast cereal. Cereal is the breakfast category where shrinkflation has been almost blatant. Research tracking showed that family-sized cereal boxes across major brands have lost anywhere from 1 to 2.5 ounces in the last few years. One well-known frosted cereal brand shrank from 24 ounces to 21.7 ounces, while the price either held or increased, resulting in a per-ounce cost jump of around 40% for that specific product. That is not a small number. That is a product that now costs you nearly half again, as much per ounce as it did a few years ago. The box looks the same size on the shelf. The price tag looks familiar, but there's more air inside and less cereal. That's the design. You're supposed to not notice. At Walmart, cereal prices have been moving around. Some brands held the line during 2024 and then adjusted upward in 2025. Others quietly moved to smaller sizes without changing the sticker price much. The key is to always look at the price per ounce on the shelf tag, not the package price. That one number tells you the truth. I bought a 6-box variety of cereals my family rotates through. Paid between $3.47 and $4.78 per box depending on the brand. I specifically bought an extra 2 boxes of our everyday staple, because based on what I'm seeing in supply chain signals, another round of size reductions or price adjustments is likely in the next few quarters. Cereal stores well, 6 to 12 months in a sealed bag in the box, in a cool, dry pantry. Once opened, a sealed clip or a resealable bag keeps it fresh for several weeks. Stock up when the price is right, and you're not scrambling at the worst moment. The breakfast aisle is not your friend right now, but you can still work it to your advantage. Product number 13. Head and Shoulders Shampoo. This is the one that rounds everything out, because it shows you that this pressure is not just in food, it's across the entire store. Head and Shoulders shampoo at Walmart saw a price increase of nearly 18% at some locations in 2025. That's a real jump for something you buy on autopilot. And before that price went up, the bottles had already been through the same quiet shrinkflation cycle that hit Tide and Dove. Shampoo and conditioner bottles across multiple brands dropped from 12.6 fluid ounces to 11.8 fluid ounces in standard sizes. A few ounces less per bottle. Same price. That's shrinkflation. Then the price went up on top of that. That's both at once. For a household that goes through shampoo regularly, this adds up. 2 adults washing their hair every couple of days will finish a bottle in 3 to 4 weeks. Multiply that across the year and you're buying this product a dozen or more times. Every extra dollar per bottle is real money by December. I grabbed 4 bottles of Head & Shoulders during my last personal care aisle run. Paid about $7.48 per bottle for the standard size. Not thrilled about that price, but that's where we are. I also grabbed 2 bottles of Walmart's Equate Medicated Dandruff Shampoo, a genuine alternative that runs about $4.50 for a comparable size. If the brand price keeps climbing, the store brand is a real option worth considering. Shampoo stores indefinitely if kept sealed. Don't need to overthink the storage. Just keep it somewhere dry and you're set for however long it takes to use it. This is your money. Protect it. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. Every single item on this list is being squeezed from multiple directions at once. Tariffs are pushing up costs on imported goods and imported ingredients. Crop shortages from weather disruption are reducing supply and raising prices on coffee, chocolate, and canned fruit. Cattle supply is at historic lows, keeping beef prices elevated. Energy and transportation costs are compounding everything. And across all of it, manufacturers are responding in the same two ways: raising prices or quietly delivering less product for the same money. The pattern is consistent, and it is not random. What you just watched gives you the ability to act before most people around you even realize what's happening. The person in your neighborhood who's going to be frustrated in 3 months at the grocery store. They watched something else today. You didn't. You're here. I want to be clear. I'm not saying buy everything at once or spend money you don't have. The point is to look at your routine purchases, the things already on your list, and consider whether buying a little extra now, at today's prices, is smarter than buying the same amount later at tomorrow's prices. In almost every category on this list, the answer is yes. Stock up smart. Buy what you actually use. Rotate your supply so nothing goes to waste. And know that having a few extra months of essentials on hand isn't panic. It's common sense. The people who feel this the least are the people who prepared the most. Thank you for being here. If this helped you, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this kind of content is worth putting in front of more people, and that matters a lot for a channel like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Every video on this channel is built the same way. Real trends, real prices, real actionable advice with no fluff and no panic. That's the promise, and we keep it. If there's a specific product or category you want me to dig into, drop it in the comments. I read them. Your suggestions have shaped some of the best content on this channel. Stay ahead, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one.